Good day, everyone. We are the Values Education second year, and today we are going to discuss to you what is learning outcome and what are the other areas being included to be learned in knowing learning outcome and its importance to education, teaching, and learning. Also, we will be discussing the PPST. Please tune in and listen. Please like, subscribe, and turn the notification on for updates on new videos we are going to upload. So I'm going to discuss to you what are the learning outcomes. So learning outcomes are descriptions of the specific knowledge, skills, or expertise that the learner will be able to get from a learning activity, such as training session, seminar, course, or program. Learning outcomes are measurable achievements that the learner will be able to understand after the learning is complete, which helps learners understand the importance of the information and what they will get and what they will gain from their engagement with the learning activity. Creating clear, actionable learning outcomes is an important part of the creation of the training programs in organizations. When developing these programs, both management and instructors need to be clear about what learners should be able to understand after completing their learning path. Learning outcomes also play a key role in assessment and evaluation, making clear what knowledge learners should have upon completion of the learning activity. A well-written learning outcome will focus on how the learner will be able to apply their new knowledge in a real-world context, rather than learner being able to recite information. The most useful learning outcomes include a verb that describes an observable action, a description of what the learner will be able to do and understand, which conditions they will be able to do it, and the performance level they should be.
Hi, this is Quincy A, CATUCOD, a BS Ed major of Values Education second year. So let's proceed now on the source of learning outcomes. The institution mission statement is a relevant source of student learning expectation. So, policies on competencies and standard issued by government education agencies such as DepEd, TESDA, CHED are prescribed sources of student learning outcomes. Thank you.
So next, let's discuss about the program outcomes for teacher education and BSEd based on a CHED memo order. Impart essential knowledge, elements, tools, and skills necessary to become successful licensed professional teachers. Develop students' ability to recognize, formulate, and solve issues and problems in the areas of content knowledge. The BSA degree program aims to develop highly motivated and incompetent teachers specializing in the content and pedagogy for secondary education. After successful completion of all academic requirements for the degree program, graduates of BSEd should be able to practice the teaching profession in the secondary level.
Hello, I'm Reinafer HERRAS, and I'm going to discuss about the Philippine standards for teachers. Effective teachers are vital in developing a student's success and learning. They have a very significant lifelong impact on all of their students. They can also change a student's life in many ways. Teachers mold and shape a student's personality and sometimes their future. The Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers, or the PPST, plays a significant role in the teaching learning process. It captures the teacher's quality requirements and the K-12 programs. It gives focus on the skills and strategies that facilitate the teaching and learning process. It incorporates the effective and appropriate use of information and communication technology for both teachers and students. It gives educators knowledge that for them to be considered quality teachers, they should know what to teach and how to teach the lessons to students. PPST has 7 domains, namely content knowledge and pedagogy, learning environment, diversity of learners, curriculum and planning, assessment and reporting, community linkages and professional engagement, personal growth and professional development. It also has 4 career stages, such as beginning, proficient, highly proficient, and distinguished. The 37 indicators in each career stage show a developmental progression from beginning to distinguished practice. It articulates what constitutes teacher quality in the K-12 reform through well-defined domains, strands, and indicators that provide measures of professional learning, competent practice, and effective engagement. This set of standards provides clear information of what teachers should know, be able to do, and value to achieve competent, improved student learning outcomes, and eventually quality education. It serves a basis of professional accountability that can help teachers reflect on and assess their practices as they aspire for personal growth and professional development. PPST helps to have quality and effective teachers here in the Philippines when it comes to teaching. It allows them to recognize the importance of having a critical understanding of the application of theories and principles of teaching and learning. It encourages them to display proficiency in teaching and exhibit the needed skills in the use of communication strategies, teaching strategies, and technologies to promote high quality learning outcomes. It inspires them to create a conducive learning environment that promotes learner responsibility and achievement and increases learner engagement. Teachers become responsive to learner diversity. They come to understand that learners are different from each other. They differ in their interests, learning styles, etc. They need to incorporate teaching practices that are differentiated to be able to meet the needs of the learners, especially disabled learners. It allows teachers to apply a variety of assessment tools and strategies in monitoring, evaluating, documenting, and reporting learners' needs, progress, and achievement. They use the information that they have collected from the assessment to inform and enhance the teaching and learning process by providing learners with the necessary feedback about their learning outcomes. It enables teachers to select, organize, and use appropriate assessment tools. Most importantly, it teaches teachers to value personal growth and professional development. It encourages them to exhibit high personal regard for the profession by maintaining qualities that uphold the dignity of teaching, such as respect and integrity. They can value personal and professional reflection and learning to improve their practices. It helps them assume a sense of responsibility for personal growth and professional development for lifelong learning. The Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers, or PPST, aims to produce better teachers in our country by improving their qualification skills and by increasing their levels of knowledge, practice, and professional engagement. Teachers must exert efforts for them to attain proficiency in teaching. In today's 21st century, there is a need for teachers to become digital literate. They must know how to operate and utilize digital resources to make teaching and learning meaningful and engaging for learners.
Good design always starts with a good understanding of the desired result. Whether you are designing a tool that make a task easier, software that make a process more efficient, or a building that is more accessible. The creative endeavor begins with a purpose in order to design learning experiences and opportunities for our students. We need to articulate the specific learning goals, the knowledge, skills, understanding, and traits that they will need to be successful professional and citizens.
So what must the needs of industry be considered in the formulation of learning outcomes? The intention of learning outcomes is to make it clear to students what they are expected to achieve as a result of completing a result. It should be given with an action verb or in a word that describe and identify the performance to be signified. Next is the statement. It should describe the abilities and knowledge to be demonstrated. Length, it should exceed 400 characters.
Hi, this is Mary Jean GLODO and I'm going to tackle about the characteristics of good learning outcomes. First, it should be flexible. While individuals' outcomes should be specific, instructors should feel comfortable adding, removing, or adjusting learning outcomes over the length of a course if initial outcomes prove too inadequate. It should be refocused on the learner rather than explaining the instructor what will do in the course. Good learning outcomes describe knowledge or skills that the students will employ and help the learner understand why that knowledge and those skills are useful and valuable to their personal, professional, and academic future. And the third one, it should be realistic, not aspirational. All passing students should be able to demonstrate the knowledge or skill described by the learning outcome at the conclusion of the course. So, in this way, learning outcomes establish standards for the course.
Hi, I'm Christal Joy D, MOSEños, a BSL Values Education second year student. So for today, I will be sharing to you the continuation on what are the characteristics of good learning outcomes. So first one is the focus on the application and integration of acquired knowledge and skills. Good learning outcomes reflect and indicate the ways in which the described knowledge and skills may be used by the learner now and in the future. Second one is to indicate useful modes of assessment and the specific elements that will be assessed. Good learning outcomes prepare students for assessment and help them feel engaged and empowered by the assessment and evaluation process. Third one are learning-centered, in which they focus on what students learn rather than on what faculty teach. Fourth one, align with the degree program purpose. Fifth, are appropriate to the level of the degree offered. Master's degree outcomes would be more vigorous and comprehensive than bachelor's degree outcomes. That's all for today. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Ronalyn SUWAISO. My topic for today is all about the revised Bloom's Taxonomy, Fink's Taxonomy for Significant Learning, Marzano, McTay, and Wiggins, and what domain of skill of learning is identified in its first level stage of taxonomy. Most of us agree that our purpose as instructor is to foster or facilitate new student knowledge. How best do we measure student grasp of course content or core ideas? There are levels to knowledge from the simple remembering one's times table to extremely complicated knowing about oneself. Scholars have tried to create taxonomies of understanding or taxonomies of educational goals. Perhaps is the most well-known Bloom's Taxonomy of the Cognitive Domain, 1956, later revised by Anderson, 2001. This taxonomy features a hierarchy of categories to capture the range of learning processes: remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, create. Anderson extended these categories with the addition of knowledge dimension: factual, conceptual, procedural, and metacognitive. Similarly, Wiggins and McTay developed 6 facets of understanding to help educators design deep or varied learning experiences. This encourages us to build learning experiences that develop more than superficial or imbalanced understanding without including solid foundational knowledge. The six phases description. First is explanation. To ensure students understand why an answer approach is the right one, students explain or justify their responses or their course of action. Interpretation. To ensure students understand why an answer approach is the right one. Application. To ensure students' key performances are conscious and explicit reflection, self-assessment, and self-adjustment with reasoning made evident. Perspective. To ensure students know the importance or significance of an idea and to group its importance or unimportance. Empathy. To ensure students develop the ability to see the world from different viewpoints in order to understand the diversity of thought and feeling in the world. Self-knowledge. To ensure students are deeply aware of the boundaries of their own and other understanding, and to able to recognize their own prejudices and projections. Has integrity, able and willing to act on what one understands.